Welcome back after Ball State's pretty dominating win to get here. We're going to be seeing a Ball State versus Purdue Northwest game. So, again, tell me a little bit about what you want to see here.
Well, we saw both these teams going against each other last year, right, for the championship. So this is going to kind of be the fated rematch here. And both of them were just, if I remember everything correctly, and I'm pretty sure I do, I remember just, of course, Ball State being this hyper-objective focused play style, and then Purdue Northwest was just right there to answer almost everything they had, and it was just extremely back and forth. So what I'm expecting from really just both these teams, regardless of what they draft, it's going to be something fast, it's going to be something decisive, and they are just going to be moving constantly, especially once they can establish some kind of tempo going forward.
Yeah, I think both these teams in draft are going to be looking to put themselves in the place of autonomy, the place where they get to decide what's going on and not the other team. And I think that's going to be a big key factor here for this game. And the thing that we were talking about, it's a best of one. The fate of this game and going to the grand finals is a best of one. The fate of all of BFI here is a best of one. Are we going to see a third-time rematch this weekend of Ball State versus Indiana, or are we going to see Purdue Northwest, I wouldn't say upset at this point, but go and take that spot for themselves? And we're jumping right here in draft. We have Purdue Northwest taking blue side with the Jarvin ban. Kind of makes sense. I want to see Casante banned if I'm Ball State. Please ban that. Thank you.
There we go. Just taking that option off the table entirely. The snowball potential from Casante so far has been insane. Of course, Silk Flannel, that Fiora is just absolutely lethal in his hands. Just going to be removed as a weapon from Ball State. The Oriana ban coming in kind. So just getting these power picks, these comfort picks right off the table, right off the bat. These teams are not messing around here.
Yeah, and I think if I'm Ball State, I'm kind of digging deep into that mid pool from what we've seen from Klexo today. When he's been comfortable, he's been really good, but he got forced onto that LeBlanc, and he looked like maybe a possible weakness here to exploit. And if I'm, I love this. If I'm Purdue Northwest, I'm taking the Ziggs. A strong flex pick. We saw in their series against IU how strong these flex picks can be on blue side. This is a great start.
Yeah, I love the Ziggs. You can put that in the bot lane. You can stick it in the mid lane. It's also taking the Ziggs out of Blaster 3's hands, which I think is something you might want to consider here. The brand is being hovered. I'm assuming we're just being trolled a bit with here. And, I'm sure you're going to be disappointed again, but I believe that is the Renekton being locked in for the top lane once more.
Man, these teams love the Croc. They love the Croc. And, you know, I don't love him as a champ, but in the hands of very good players, he can be very strong. And when you have a bot lane of Blaster 3 down there, you want to make sure that your top lane is pretty self-sufficient, and Renekton could be a very self-sufficient champ. And we see Blaster go ahead and take that Jinx, which maybe the Ziggs wants to go into the Jinx. Maybe we're going to end up putting it mid, but Blaster really doesn't care regardless.
Yeah, Blaster has actually been banned out of Jinx quite a few times, so giving him that option there is nice. And once again, coming from the side of Purdue Northwest, it's just going to be a bit of a flex pick here with the Sejuani, and that Irelia almost immediately being locked in afterwards, assuming that's a comfort pick, technically a bit of a flex as well. You can take her top, you can take her mid. All right, I'll roll with the Irelia. I'm not sure I love that on first blush, but you know we can wait it out, see the rest of the draft.
Here, I like Purdue Northwest in theory. You know, they're going for, we're picking all these flex picks that you're not going to know where they're going, but if you know anything about League, you know that the Zig's going bot and Irelia is going mid, because there's no way you're putting Irelia top into Renekton, which means Ball State gets a counter there in mid lane in that Talia too. And I'm interested to see if I am correct about that. Maybe I'm wrong, obviously. But with this Ziggs being bot lane, I want to see Ball State go for a Enchanter, something heavy scaling, because bot lane is going to be a snooze fest down there. Just pick something to scale into this late game and be really strong.
I agree. We could maybe be seeing that Seraphine getting selected there, or another Enchanter of a similar caliber. That Bard is just going to be banned outright. We saw Ball State bring it out last game, and it was pretty scary. Quaka was making some serious plays there. The Jax ban as well coming out from Ball State here. You've got your final ban. You've got the support open. You've got the Olaf ban. That's interesting.
Yeah, I think that is something that comes from scrims or, you know, old knowledge about playing these guys. That he likes Olaf top, or Maybe they send Sejuani top and they go Olaf jungle. It's really good. Or, they're picking Ivern, which means Olaf is really good. Or Maokai. Olaf would have been really good to Maokai too. And we haven't seen much Maokai today, but I think he's a pretty good, strong champion.
I think Maokai is incredible, and it's actually been a little disappointing that we haven't seen him selected that much for Battle for Indiana. We've gone through the Ivern, and we are once again going to be locking in this Xin. And compared to what was just hovered, I can't say I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, I understand the sentiment. I think Xin is a very good champ into the Ziggs. I think he's good at the counter dive. And we have seen him play it pretty well today. But it's been kind of flippy, I think. And it hasn't been all his games playing Xin. But I think it can work. And I think it's a very good comfort pick. So I don't mind the pick right there. We are going to see the Aatrox. So, yep, as I said, Irelia is going mid and Ziggs is going bot lane. But this is what really matters. What is this support pick?
That you can give that Enchanter to go and scale up with Ziggs. I would like to see something like that. I think maybe, honestly, I think grabbing something that just increases your poke potential by a lot here could be pretty beneficial. You could also go for an engage. I'm not opposed to that. I think personally, I would prefer to see, like you said, bot lane is going to be a snooze fest, and I think you just, for both these teams here, just want to pick something that's going to scale, and I don't know if Alistar fits that bill entirely, and I certainly don't know if I would pick Tahm Kench into this as well. I'm wondering if this is sort of the counter. These junglers here, you do have a lot of engage potential coming out from these junglers, from these mids too as well. So maybe you just want some displacement in terms of that. But I don't know. I think I personally would have preferred some Enchanter support picks here. Yeah,
I would have really liked to see a Enchanter, certainly for Ball State. But I understand the theory of Tahm Kench. I think it's a really good pick, actually. You have 4 melee into a Jinx who's probably going to get like Kraken, i.e. Runans. If you can keep her alive with that eat from Tahm Kench, you're in a great spot. So it makes a lot of sense to go to the Tahm Kench. I get the All-Star also makes a lot of sense. I think these drafts make a lot of sense, but man, I really would have liked to see something more than All-Star there because I think he's a good champ, but he's really bad into Taliyah. You're going to get counter-picked, which means your All-Star is not a great blind in general. But he does have a lot of value in this draft. I'll give him that. This draft has a lot of value. I think it's just really hard to play 4 melee into Taliyah, Xin Zhao, Jinx.
Yeah, I think I think I kind of have a similar opinion here with both these drafts. I think both these drafts are fine. They have very clearly defined goals and identities and what they want to do. It's just a question of I think there are certain things you could have swapped out that, in my opinion, would improve these drafts. But I think they're solid overall, and I think what's important, like whether we agree about the efficiency of X pick or Y pick, is that both these drafts clearly have a game plan in mind, and knowing how high level that both Ball State and Purdue Northwest are, they are going to be able to execute these game plans. The only question is, are they going to be able to? Who's going to be able to execute it better, essentially?
Yeah. And it also seems very comfort for the side of Purdue Northwest specifically. Blind pick Irelia, insta-locked it, insta-locked the Sejuani. They want these melee champions with Sejuani, which makes a ton of sense, obviously. The All-Star was a pretty quick pick. The Ziggs was insta first pick. So they got comfort. This is what they want. And, last year's grand final, Ball State and Purdue Northwest had very different draft styles as well. You had ISO with like the Yone and Wombat Baby with an Ahri a ton of the time, a Silas versus whatever. So I'm interested to see how these two teams play this draft because, like you said, while we might favor one, they both have clear strengths and weaknesses. And I think a lot of it is going to come down to how strong can that Irelia get because I'm an Irelia player myself, and if she starts to fall behind into Taliyah, she's kind of useless.
Yeah, that's not going to feel good. I think this mid lane in particular is just going to be so important to watch. I'm really curious to see how this bot lane is played as well. I'm really, really curious to see how the Tahm Kench is played because I don't believe we've seen Tahm Kench played really much at all so far in Battle for Indiana, and I've never seen Quokka's Tahm Kench either, and Quokka has shown to put out some pretty solid support gameplay overall. Like the Bard was a surprise, but it was very strong and it was very good, and Quokka piloted it really well. So I'm excited to see the support gameplay, and I do think that, in particular, this mid lane matchup is going to decide the pace and the tempo of a lot of this game.
Yeah, I think mid has a lot of pressure too, and I said it earlier about the Jinx into 4 melee, but to be completely fair, we also have Ziggs who outranges everybody in the game, and you have Aatrox into 3 melee. So you definitely have, like we said, power on both these comps, and it's going to come down to play. And Oh, it's just so hard to root against some of these guys. You almost want both the teams to win.
I really do, yeah.
But I want to just see good gameplay, and it sucks it's a best of one because we could watch this draft play out 3 times, and I guarantee it's different all 3 times.
Exactly. Both these teams have just shown that they are able to just grab sometimes just the tiniest of advantages and just run with it until suddenly the entire game is just completely under their control. So it really is just going to come down to this early game, and some things are going to be of more importance like these mid matchups, but I would not discount either team out until that Nexus falls.
Yep, and draft is only it's not even half of the game. It's a very small part of the game at the end of the day because play is what is going to determine who wins or loses. And I'm not going to make a prediction. I haven't been making predictions today, but this one's on a knife's edge. It's 2 coin flip, and I just want to see good League of Legends, as I've said. So when we get to this game, I will talk about games, obviously, but like I said, if I'm looking at anything, I do want to see Talia have strong laning runes into this or phase rush. And actually, she does have phase rush, so good. I just didn't want to see like first strike. I want to see either area or phase rush. I did not want to see first strike. Oh, we are seeing an invade here, level 1. That's going to be the flash out of the All-Star. That's actually pretty big. That takes a lot of pressure off this Jinx levels like 1 to 3.
Yeah, that engage from the Alistar is really scary, and all of a sudden having that flash down means that you can play around it just that much easier. We already talked about these small advantages, and that is a bit more than a small advantage, especially at this level of play. Ball State going to get that vision and walk away knowing that they have gained something here. I'm just going to reset, head out to those waves, wait for the minions to spawn. This is a pretty solid start for Ball State so far.
Yeah, you're not going to be mad about that, and you end up getting your wards down in base, and you get your sweeper, so everything's working out. You're going to know where this Sejuani is going to path. So if I'm Purdue Northwest and I'm this Sejuani, I'm either playing stock standard and full clearing, or I'm going to try and get a little creative, maybe a nice little free camp into bot lane, something along those lines, but another ward down and try. So Ball State has tons of vision and tons of protection down here, and Purdue Northwest has no idea where this Zin's out starting since he is solo in red.
Exactly. Purdue Northwest going to be in a bit of a bind with regards to jungle tracking. In the meantime, already so much trades are going to be happening in that bot lane. Quokka going to be knocked up here. Silk Flannel going to be running right at Pranked there. Ball State going to be posturing quite aggressively here. They know where that jungle is, so they know how they can play in lane so far. Blaster going to be just farming here, and we've seen it play out time and time again. Ball State just taking this aggressive posturing, just taking these short trades, just not letting Purdue Northwest take anything without getting some sort of punishment back for it.
Yeah, the Ziggs is very, very good at being neutralizing, but it takes a little while. You have to get at least Lost Chapter, I feel like, when I play Ziggs bot lane. Once you get Lost Chapter, you can play these waves super fast, and you play from range. Until then, you do get pressured a lot, especially by something like the Jinx that has a lot of range when she is in rocket form. And we're missing a lot of CS top because of all... a huge satchel charge into a knockup, but it's just not going to be anything because you have no kill pressure in this bot lane. But getting Jinx low health does feel really good because now these Q's landing and she's going to have to go to base.
Yep, that Ziggs poke can quickly turn that low HP into a serious problem. Kletso going to be struggling a bit into that matchup here, but in the meantime, Ball State just going to be invading that blue side. I believe they get the blue buff here, and oh no, the missed flash. Doubtful taken so low. So finally going to be stunned. First blood coming out for Ball State, but the rotate is coming out from Purdue Northwest here, and it is suddenly looking a little hairy for Ball State. Pranked is knocked airborne and is looking really, really low. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, that is a very low Quokka, and wow, 1 kill after all of that for Ball State.
Yeah, you got all 6 flashes gone topside, and then your bot lane gets the Tom Kench's flash out as well. At the end of the day, it is a big win for Ball State because they got the blue and they got first blood, and they did it when they had good lane states. So their mid and top laner are not going to lose very much for all of this. And Ziggs has no mana here, but his whole team is around. There's going to be no play onto the Ziggs here, but just a big win there for Ball State.
Yeah, so we said sometimes these tiny things can snowball into bigger ones, in Ball State already just planning around. They know where that Sejuani is going to clear. They're looking for that invade, and it goes beautifully. This is a really solid start. We already have that Zinza with the Iron Spike whip coming out. That's a nice boost of damage here. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, you said it was going to be a snooze fest. We have the Jinx just grabbing Cole. Blaster is content to just live up to his name as the farming master and stack that money as quickly as he can.
We gotta pause.
We are going to be on a quick pause here.
And, you know, talking about that that top lane play in Invade, this is where I think nerves are getting into people a little bit. You know, your life is on the line in this game. Backs against the wall. Sejuani kind of panic flashed, failed the flash over the wall. Irelia flashed trying to hit the E, but she was just super wide and it wasn't set up at all with any of her teammates. And the nerves are just getting there too a little. And then Wombat Baby flashed over and he E'd before he hit the W. But just the micro differences that are going to make the difference in this game are already super apparent.
Yeah, like you said, the Wombat Baby just coming in and not quite landing that Taliyah combo in the way that you would have wanted. The Panic Flash is obviously the big glaring one there. Like you said, these micro differences make or break the game. Ball State is already ahead, but the nerves are setting in. This game is so important for Ball State, not only for the league trophy, but for the belt of Battle for Indiana and Purdue Northwest. This is the fated rematch. Getting a victory on here in Ball State means so much, and it allows you a ticket into the grand finals as well to try and secure the victory, at least for league here. Both these teams have got to be feeling the pressure, and it's becoming apparent. League is as much a mental game as it is just a physical game, and sometimes the mental part of that is just dealing with all the stress that I'm sure everybody is feeling.
Yeah, and you know, at this point, these guys have been here. It's been a long day. They've been here since this morning. They're on their 4th or maybe even 5th game for Ball State, for example. They played a lot of games. That's a lot of league to play in one day, especially at a competitive level where the mental aspect is extremely tolling and it's going to weigh on you. But you brought up the Cole on the Jinx, which I think is a great adaptation from Blaster. We talked about this earlier. I saw the Ball State spring game where they played Northeastern, I believe, and Northeastern came out with Sinachogat, they came out with Ziggs, and they just played to do nothing bot lane and have our top side win. So Blaster going for this Cole is going to set him ahead just naturally. If nothing happens bot, he's going to get ahead and he's going to get his scaling early. So I really like to see that. We are seeing another play here on the mid lane. Wombat Baby does not have flash. He does hit the knockup into the stones, but Irelia goes into tower, takes 2-3 power shots. That's a kill for Wombat Baby in the mid lane, thanks to a great roam there from Quokka and well played by himself.
That was really bad here for Purdue Northwest. We said Irelia does not want to get behind early, and Klexa was already just struggled to make any play happen, and dying under tower like that to your lane opponent cannot feel good, and it certainly isn't good numbers-wise. Ball State slowly stretching out that gold lead here. They've shown that they are very capable of snowballing that gold lead into something much more monstrous. Quokka with a great roam there as well. We do have the Drake up. Ball State is known for trying to take these very early Drakes almost as soon as they spawn, although they aren't quite in a position to do so here. In the meantime, Silk Flannel going to be shoving in this top wave into Pranked, maybe getting off a couple trades or two.
And you know, with that play on mid lane, I think that Ball State, they had Scuttle, so I'm pretty sure they knew Tom Kinch was in the area. They just thought they were going to be able to kill Taliyah quick enough and get out. But as soon as Wombat Baby played it so well with the W and the E to push the Sejuani into the rocks, there's nothing, no play there for Purdue Northwest. And Irelia just went a little bit too deep, got under tower, and like you said, a great knock up there from the Tom Kinch. So we're going to continue to see this slow playing game, but now that there's a lost chapter on mid lane, I do expect to see Ball State try and play for this dragon.
Yeah, Wombat Baby is in a great position to just take complete control over that mid lane. We are seeing see Blaster 3 here. Just grabbing that Cole, just farming up, just going to be extending that economic lead by doing nothing here. There is going to be an invade coming out from Toponer here, walking up into that bot side jungle, getting a ward down, maybe looking for a gank on Wombat Baby, is just going to be resetting back to the river here. Klexo looking for some kind of angle here onto Wombat Baby. Is not quite level 6 yet, but level 6 on Taliyah isn't quite as scary in lane as it might be for some other mid laners. In the meantime, Blaster going to be shoving this lane forward. Ball State has a lot of priority here, and Toponer is going to be caught out of it. Just going to be taken down.
Here. Can they get any more? No, they're just going to back off and get the dragon. But Irelia is moving down here as well. There's a lot of trading here on the top side. Both these champions do have ultimate. Neither one does have flash. Jinx is taking a lot of damage. That's a big satchel charge. Can he hit the bomb? Oh, nice flash there from Blaster. Flash from Jinx comes out as well. Is anybody going to die? There's no flash for anybody here in this bot side play.
Winking is so low. Jinx does not have ult. Winking is taking critically low, and Ball State, what they might be trying to set up for this Dragon is now turning into a very scuffed looking bot side play. Is just going to secure the Dragon, and the ult travels and lands true. Ball State is growing that small lead into something much larger now.
The super mega death rocket might be the beginning of the end here for Ball State. That just turned into a 2K gold lead very, very quickly.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see if you're Purdue Northwest. Blaster 3 waiting for that opportunity for what feels like forever for him probably, but finally managing to secure a kill onto the ever elusive Winking. In the meantime, Silk Flannel going to once again be shoving in this top wave. We do have that Rift Herald coming up in roughly 10 seconds. We see members of Ball State resetting. They're in a pretty solid position to go and make a play for this Herald. I don't see any reason why they don't here. In Purdue Northwest, I'm not sure if there's really a great way for them to respond.
Yeah, and with all the roaming this All-Star has done, he's tried to match the Tom Kinch's roaming, but because of the shove that Ball State has had in his bot lane, All-Star is down a bunch of XP actually, because he was level 3 at that play while Tom Kinch was level 4 in that tri-bush. And if they were even level, maybe it's a little bit better fight, but it just feels like Ball State with this comp is playing a little bit too quick and a little bit too loose. You know, you have Zig's bot lane. You don't really want to make any plays down there. You kind of want to play slow, get them weak, and then make a play.
Yeah, you do want to be going for a more measured pace, especially into such, like you said, such a neutralizing bot lane. So Flannel is just going to pop the Renekton ult and is saying, all right, Pranked, I will take you on right here, right now. In the meantime, Klexo doing something very similar, going to flash that W beautifully, and is just going to gun Wombat Baby down with the well-placed Aurelia ultimate. Opponent going to be trying to disengage Ball State bot lane here. Quagga and Blaster looking to get some kind of trade back. Oh, and Opponent is going to be in a lot of trouble. Blaster 3 is going to take down that Alistar. Easy peasy. And Silk Flannel, meanwhile, going to be getting a tower plating up there. Really back and forth. Ball State still ahead in gold, but Purdue Northwest is showing that they're certainly not behind here in this scenario.
Yeah, and you know, that's just a very nice play there from Klexo. We've given him a lot of flack, especially in that LeBlanc game, and you know, a little bit so far here for the Nerves, but he saw the play, he had a perfect flash on the Talia combo, and he ended up getting the kill and then getting out. But Ball State managing to get the flash on the top side and the return kill on the All-Star. You're not going to feel too bad about it, but like I said, very nice play there by Klexo, who obviously is going to be able to make these plays to win the game if he has the chance.
And Purdue Northwest, they might be down, but they are not out, and you never say die here to Ball State. Ball State has taken that Rift Herald, however, and I feel like they just had so much presence in the jungle and on the map. Purdue Northwest is going to have to start making some plays happen here if they don't want to be choked out of Summoner's Rift entirely. This Dragon is coming up in roughly 2 minutes, and we can already see some vision control being set up on the side of Ball State here.
Remind me if you know, was Silk Flannel the Renekton earlier that built like full tank, like a vegan build? Like Dead Man's, was that Silk Flannel? I can't remember.
I can't either. I want to say no, but I've seen quite a few Renekton games today.
Yeah, there's been a lot of them. Well, I'll disregard that point because I don't know. But with this Herald, I kind of want to see them get some gold into Renekton, because if you're Ziggs here and you're this Purdue Northwest comp, Ziggs is going to be fine in the bot lane. You're going to want. We're seeing more trading here. There is no ult. The flash from the Sejuani comes down to stun up Wombat Baby, so Klexo can collect another kill. We're seeing more trading up here, and Aatrox has no flash, but he is going to be completely fine because Silk Flannel is going to just walk away.
Yeah, so Flannel not quite having the damage there to go for a full engage on the Pranked, and it really feels like Wombat Baby just kind of got caught out there. Not really knowing where Doubtful was, and then Doubtful just coming in with a superb gank. Klexo picking up another kill. This is really big. We want this Irelia mid laner to be far ahead if you are Purdue Northwest in this situation. And really, Ball State just kind of unable to punish in that scenario. That's just gold going into Purdue Northwest pocket. Like we said, down but not out. They are slowly but surely clawing their way back into this game.
Yeah, that's just the comfort pick thing where even if you are playing Irelia and you get a little behind or you're in a bad matchup, if you're really comfortable on this champion, you can have some very good highlight moments. And so far, that was a great play there by Doubtful to flash and get the stun and make sure that Irelia can get the kill. But Klexo's playing this very, very well so far.
Unfortunately for Klexo, that is just going to be the Rift Herald being dropped down into the mid lane. Gonna take 2 turret plates there, get some more gold into Ball State's pockets. That dragon is up, and that Rift Herald means immediate mid prio. PNW going to be on the back foot in coming into this river. They are trying to fight it here, but the vision control from Ball State is quite strong. Wombat Baby taking Winking very, very low, as this dragon just, honestly, it just feels like if Ball State just takes this, then there's not much that Purdue can do about it, as they do, in fact, take it, both like securing the second Drake of the game.
So it looked like Purdue Northwest wanted to contest that since they have TP advantage top, but they just really couldn't find a way in with all that vision control that Ball State had, and Ball State melted that dragon before Purdue Northwest could fight their way through all that vision. So just to see, this is what I'm talking about. It's very, very close, very micro things that are going to make the difference. In an earlier game, maybe a worse team walks right into that dragon and just dies because they have no vision control. But that is not going to be what Purdue Northwest does today. They are going to play a very solid game. And even though this is a 2K gold lead for the side of Ball State, if Purdue Northwest keeps making good decisions and keep playing well, they can also still win this game.
Yeah, Purdue Northwest are really good at League, and one of the first things you learn in League, quite painfully, is that you sometimes just have to learn how to play from behind, and Purdue Northwest are more than willing to do that here. Klexo has just been doing some really fancy stuff. And with this Irelia here, just been zipping all around that lane and making things really hard. And here comes the gank again. And once again, Doubtful just setting up Klexo beautifully, letting the Maestro work his magic, as that is going to be another kill for Klexo. But the re-engage by Butler with the stun is going to allow Klexo to walk out, 0 harm done.
Just play safe mid, you know, you're under your tower, you're dying to, said Wani, it's just play safe mid, you know. Just play safe mid. Yeah, that was on you for sure, man. We're seeing a lot of fighting here on the bot side. This is a TP from the Talia. Zinzao is super late. Tomkins is going to fall before anyone else gets here. Stun just missed. Both have flash. The flash does come down. The stun is a little late. The shutdown over to the Irelia. We're getting a Renekton TP as well. Irelia almost takes down the Talia as well. Renekton's going to collect the All-Star. Is that a 3 for 3? 3 for 2? 2 for 2? 2 for 2. But TP out of Renekton and Talia. So Aatrox is going to just collect some free waves and a little bit of damage on this tower. I don't think he'll be able to take it.
Klexo almost got what I think would have been my favorite play of this entire tournament so far, nearly grabbing just everybody in that bot lane. Very, very close. Is going to get a nice shutdown, however, and honestly, more money into Irelia's pocket is really what you want here. Purdue Northwest Winking has also been scaling up. That poke hurts quite a bit. Going to disengage from Quokka here, and just going to keep farming that wave. That was overall really good for Purdue Northwest. You get so much out of it. You burn summoners, you get some damage on the turret up top, and you get a nice shutdown.
Yeah, and also the patience that Klexo had when he was getting deep with his ultimate and with the Vanguard's Edge, but he held his flash for after the Talia TP'd in, and then she used her combo. Then she flashed and made a play to kill the Jinx, and then she ended up falling, but it was very close to almost killing the Talia as well. I think the Ball State is just kind of getting outplayed here in this mid lane. Klexo's putting on a little bit of a clinic, but Ball State definitely still in a position to win this game with the 2 Dragon lead and the 2K gold lead, and I think their comp does outscale.
Yeah, Ball State overall just having the better late game oriented comp. And like you said, putting on a clinic is a great way of putting it. Klexo has definitely been styling on just so many members of Ball State with this Irelia, but Ball State overall still ahead. They have those objectives. They are slowly whittling away at those towers. They have the gold lead. They have the kill lead. They're generally ahead in a lot of aspects. It's going to be difficult for Purdue Northwest to make something happen, but it is certainly not impossible. Slickflannel once again is going to be trading down there in the bot lane this time, having gone to meet Aatrox down there. Just a bit of a lane swap here.
And a lot of this gold advantage is coming out of the jungle CS, the 2 kills, obviously, the jungle CS, and there's a little bit of a CS disparity in bot lane. It's not much, it's about 2 waves, but it is still something. So while this may look like a 2K gold lead, it is really nothing. This could change like on a dime. There is no way to predict what is going to happen. But we have this dragon coming up, and it really could go either way.
We said that this game would be on a knife's edge, and a knife's edge, it has certainly found itself. One bad fight for either team can completely flip the scales. This dragon is coming up. Ball State would really like to get another dragon at this point. Blaster going to be shoving that mid lane in, getting some prio. The vision control has already been put down. There's tons of vision down in that bot side jungle for Ball State here. And it's just a matter of playing the waiting game, trying to find a pick, trying to find something to go to make a play for this dragon.
You know, I don't want to question Blaster. I'm not an AD carry player, and I don't pay attention to AD carry items very often, but I gotta question the Stormrazor a little bit. You have 4 very tanky champions in Kraken Slayer. If you're worried about, being able to kite them, you already have Ghost and Tom Pinch, so I'm just hoping he can still put out enough damage even without Kraken Slayer, and I'm sure he's picking Stormrazor because he believes he can.
Well, I would assume so. Blaster is an incredible ADC. That first tower is going to go to Purdue Northwest. Ziggs is just great at smashing towers down very quickly. And actually, Purdue Northwest is in
18 minutes is crazy.
well, it's Ziggs gaming.
Yeah. Yeah, but that takes 4. That's a long first tower, but we are going to definitely see a dragon fight here. Aatrox is getting comboed by the Talia, completely poked out. He does have to flash away. Toponer gets in, huge sash for Charge to deny any engage there from the side of Ball State. Vanguard is edge, missing everybody. Unbreakable Will is going to get broken. All-Star falls.
And that is the pick that Ball State needs. Purdue Northwest was in a pretty advantageous position in that river initially. I would like to think it seemed that Ball State didn't really have an easy avenue to get in there. And then all of a sudden, on a dime, it's just they pick onto the Alistar, and now you have this dragon. Ball State picking up the 3rd dragon. That's bad news if you're Purdue Northwest. Talked about how Purdue down but not out, but now they are getting closer and closer to out as this game drags on.
Yeah, and obviously you're at Soul Point, but it is a Chemtech Soul, which isn't the greatest Soul. Hextech would have made this game nigh unplayable for the side of Purdue Northwest. So at least you have that to be a little bit happy about being on Soul Point. Obviously you never want to be on Soul Point, but that was another very close fight. It just happened to be that Pranked was a little bit caught out. I think he was trying to get into Ball State's red side jungle so that they could, blue side jungle, so they could get a flank, and it just happened to be Talia was there and ready, and they just comboed him and were able to take him down super low. And Toponer was trying to save his life, and it just did not work out.
Again, by the closest of margins. It should be noted that Ball State actually does have yet to take a tower this game, although they are getting closer and closer to doing so as things drag on. So that is still something to keep in mind. There is a amount of map pressure that Purdue Northwest can exert that Ball State can't necessarily respond to because, well, there's a big old tower there, and it's kind of difficult to do some things. We do have this Baron coming up quite soon here in about 10 seconds. Ball State, known for going for these early Barons. Purdue Northwest, no stranger to early Barons either. Both these teams are going to want to be establishing vision fast, and they are doing so now. Getting that vision control, denying the enemy sight into this Baron, keeping it a constant X factor as they move forward on these towers.
Yeah, and this is the value of Ziggs. It makes it very hard to siege and take down any towers if he is alive. He has so much range, so much wave clear, whether it's just a normal bomb or it is his ultimate. There's just no way to stop Ziggs from clearing your wave. Once you get Baron, it is a lot easier to siege, but until Ziggs is dead, it's going to be nigh impossible to take any of these Tier 1 towers for Ball State.
And Purdue Northwest is abusing this fact heavily. Winking has been camping on these Tier 1s and just denying any minion the remotest chance to even wink at it. The gold lead has shrunk considerably. Purdue Northwest still technically behind, but it is almost a nothing burger of a gold lead here. We are once again finding ourselves on that knife's edge. Any mistake here could spell disaster for these teams, and it is only a best of 1. You have one chance to take this victory. The pressure is on. Vision control has been fought over in this Baron pit and these jungles for quite some time now. Both teams would love to make a play for a Baron. You want to siege that Ziggs, or you want to help that Ziggs clear even faster. And as once again, I keep saying it, but knife edge, any mistake here spells disaster for either team.
So when this dragon spawns, Purdue Northwest is going to have to contest the dragon. Do you think Ball State plays for a a little trade saying, hey, we'll give you one Dragon, but we're going to go take this Baron? And if that's the case, do you think Purdue Northwest would even entertain that trade, or are they contesting this Baron if Ball State tries to do it at all?
It really feels like a situation of do they know that I know that they know that I know.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
That's part of the mental games here behind League. If I'm Ball State, I'm going to be angling for trying to go for this Baron play, but Purdue Northwest is certainly, I mean, if we're considering it, I'm certain Purdue Northwest is considered it at this point. Both teams are going to really want a pick, I think, before going for either of these objectives, but neither are willing to position too far forward, although Blaster is going to be autoing Pranked here a bit. Pranked is actually going to be forced to disengage. That Storm Razor Gale Force. Oh, Wombat, baby! So close. And the ult, wait, this might actually be a huge angle for Purdue Northwest. The ult is going to come back, take so much of Ball State quite low. Silk Flannel is here, has popped the ultimate. Ball State caught a little bit in their jungle here. This could be very dangerous, but Purdue Northwest going to disengage, moving back to that topside jungle, back to that Baron pit. This Dragon is coming up very soon. Purdue Northwest has positioned themselves in this jungle. It looks like they are going to make the Baron play. The stun comes on the Quokka. Quokka goes down. Blaster 3 looking for a trade, but is just caught out all alone. Is going to be forced to flash. Silk Flannel and Botlick are going on the flank. The ult comes out. Wombat Baby forced to flash out. Blaster does not have flash anymore, and Klexo is just running everywhere on the Aurelius. Does not have the damage to finish anyone off. Botlick on a killing spree. Double kill. The Jinx ult flies back into Purdue Northwest. Purdue Northwest looking so low, as is Ball State, but Ball State ultimately going to be coming up on top here. Botlick has been shut down by Winking. Neither team can make a play for this objective.
Ball State won that fight by a collective 105 health. That is how close that fight was right there. Klexo got on the back line. He got their summoners out of the Jinx, and the Jinx barely lived and was able to hit their super mega death rocket on a ton of people, get a ton of damage out there, and Botlick had a great play there on the Xin Zhao as well, and a lot of things just happened there. We had the Weaver wall on mid lane to get the flash out of the Ziggs. We had Renekton fail his E over the wall, which maybe would have caught the Aatrox alone in blue side jungle. It probably burned his flash as well. The Vanguard Edge flash from Irelia, and now we're gonna do it all over again with this Dragon play.
Blaster!
Huge. He's completely isolated by himself. He's completely picked up. The combo from Talia isn't enough. He has no damage. That Seraph shield was huge. Blaster completely got picked out before this Dragon.
And that really should be Dragon for Purdue Northwest. Ball State just lost a massive source of damage for them. And yep, Purdue Northwest is going to walk up to that Dragon. That soul point has been denied. And this is huge for Purdue Northwest. We can see Ball State already getting that vision set up in Baron. They might lose a Dragon, but they are not going to lose this Baron if they can help it. Quokka dropping wards everywhere. If Purdue Northwest shows up to this Baron, Ball State will certainly know about it.
Yeah, and you know, you've got to kind of question what Blaster was doing. There was a very, very good satchel charge there from Winking to move Blaster towards that wall, kind of put him in a precarious situation there, but I feel like Blaster just kind of has to, all right, Ziggs, you can clear this wave, I'll just clear it as soon as you're done and then walk in with my team, because they had full vision control of that river since Quokka died so early in that first fight that he was able to walk there, get vision, and that cost Ball State the soul for sure.
Yeah, that's really bad if you're Ball State. It is always kind of surprising sometimes when a Ziggs kind of hits that satchel charge. I know I've been caught off guard by it a couple times, but these small mistakes, you know, maybe not quite expecting that satchel charge angle, that can mean all the difference. And this is absolutely massive for Purdue Northwest. Once again, they are somewhat behind in gold, but it's just a nothing of a lead, and they have denied so much to Ball State. They have kept the dream alive and are ready to turn it into some kind of advantage. They have control of this river. Ball State can't really walk up, at least not without taking some damage. Botlick is just going to be poked down by Winking, as Ziggs is just going to be throwing bomb after bomb. Botlick already losing so much HP, and we haven't even gotten to a proper fight yet.
Yeah, this is getting very, very tense, and as we said, the smallest mistakes become massive mistakes in a game that is this close. Blaster having that small mistake, and any bomb from Ziggs now is going to chunk out these squishies. It's Talia and Jinx. If they get hit by a bomb by Ziggs, he's going to take a ton of damage. or they're going to take a ton of damage and be almost forced to reset at that point, and that's going to give Purdue Northwest so much pressure every time that happens.
Both these teams have been fighting for vision control over this topside jungle, the river, the Baron pit, the topside jungle for Purdue Northwest for what feels like almost all game. Every time the camera is showing up on anyone who isn't Silk Flannel or Pranked, they are always in this jungle, always in this river. They both know how important this Baron is to either of their teams. Blaster going to just be clearing out that mid wave for the moment. Ball State hanging out in this topside jungle again, just looking to get vision control, looking to maybe make a play for Baron, just looking to get a pick, to get something rolling. But Purdue Northwest is doing the exact same. They are resetting, they are getting their items, they are once again trying to fight for vision control here. It's just on a knife's edge, and this might be the tipping point. Quokka going to be caught out by Toponer here. Butler going to re-engage, and both teams just going to disengage almost immediately.
As we take a quick look at these items, we see that both top laners are, Aatrox is not 2 items, but Renekton is at 2 items. Both junglers are at 2 items. Both mid laners are like 2.5, but Ziggs is at 3 items. Oh, and Jinx just ticked over to 3 items as well. So we are completely even in items regard as well. And a Baron start here from Purdue Northwest, since they know that the Jinx did base. They are starting this Baron. I don't know without native carry if they have enough damage. They're just going to bait the TP out of the Aatrox and back up.
All right, that could have been something big here. Purdue Northwest going to disengage, except
Really
here
nice
comes
flash.
Pranked, and Botlick is going to get caught out here, is going to be forced to flash. This is way too close. I'm on the
Aatrox
edge
is
of
on
my
the
seat.
side. Everybody is so low. What is going on? Nobody's gonna die? Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Oh, the combo lands. She does have flash. Does the super mega death roar? He doesn't have it. He used it already. Okay, but do they finally get this mid tower, or does Ziggs have enough wave push? They finally get the mid tower. Are they going to try and pressure Baron before Purdue Northwest can get these resets in? Aatrox has reset, and he does have TP.
This is incredible.
Oh, flash from Ziggs into a satchel charge. The Weaver Wall to get out. What is going on?
This is so close. We've spent basically the past 5 minutes fighting over essentially a mid tower. Ball State finally managing to convert something. Both these teams are just not willing to let themselves die to each other. As Balls, I really feel like there should have been more happening. There was just only one pick that really got caught out at all. And this might still be going on. Pranked is going to be jumping on the Botlick. Botlick is 4 HP, but that is a Aatrox with 2 items. That's a pretty scary proposition that Aatrox, a great duelist. Once again, teams going to disengage. Nobody is fighting each other without full knowledge of where everybody else is. Silk Flannel going to be jumped on by Pranked here, and Doubtful going to be falling off with the flash from Silk Flannel. The fights are just not happening. Neither team is willing to give any ground.
Okay, but also, there are no flashes on the carry for the side of Purdue Northwest. Ziggs does not have flash. If anybody gets on top of him, he is dead. They're going to push his mid wave, and we're seeing Kings go down onto the Baron or the Dragon. I don't know which way they're going to go. Botlick is going to walk in here, so he is going to get stunned. Botlick is hitting everybody. Huge stun there from Sejuani. It is kind of a separated fight. We get a flat or a TP in from Ziggs. Botlick is completely isolated from the rest of his team. Everybody else is on the Blaster. Wombat Baby dies. Botlick dies. It's a 2-0 for Purdue Northwest, and the fight is still going on.
Silk Flannel refuses to die! Pranked is jumping on him, but Silk Flannel, with that Renekton sustain, is just going to be fighting. But finally, taken down! Pranked on a killing spree, and after so much back and forth, so many skirmishes, the first real one fight in a long while will go to Purdue Northwest. They're on this Baron. This game is hitting the 30-minute mark. This is definitely on the longer end, not just for Ball State, but certainly for Battle for Indiana as a whole, as the Baron finally falls to Purdue Northwest.
And that was also really good. We didn't mention it, but All-Star went and just sat at the Dragon. He was like, you guys are not sneaking this Dragon while we do Baron. There's no way. But I have to question some of the items for the side of Ball State. This Jinx with the Storm Razor and Gale Force is not doing near enough damage compared to what like Kraken and IE would be doing, and is kind of evident in these fights because they are killing them so slowly. Wombat Baby having Shadow Flame over Void Staff makes it so these fights have to drag on for a long time, and if you get isolated the way they did in that last fight, it is very hard to win a long fight when you are separated as Ball State was in that last fight.
Yeah, it really comes down to positioning. It comes down to itemization. It's all these small decisions, mistakes, plays, plans. and it is looking like the scales are finally tipping into Purdue Northwest's favor as that Ziggs is marching down with the Barons, with the Baron empowered minions. The wave clear is absolutely ridiculous. You see Silk Flannel up top just trying to get something for all of Ball State's troubles here, going to grab that tower as Ball State is going to be holding off the mid wave here as best as they are able, and that turret will get destroyed. Silk Flannel on a split push is going to get some more gold into Ball State's pocket. Ball State certainly down in a disadvantageous position, but I would not count them out just yet. Blaster is getting poked down quite hard, and I might have spoken too soon. That red turret will go down. Klexo looking for an engage as the inhibitor goes down. Silk Flannel is recalling at the moment, but all of Purdue Northwest is going to disengage, and they are going to be going for that dragon.
There is so much damage coming out from this Ziggs this game. He might have 50,000+ damage this game, which in a comp game is pretty spectacular. He is doing so much damage here, and he's threatening Ball State from so far away that these melee champions can go up and hit a tower. Oh, I thought that super mega death rocket was
I
gonna
don't
steal
know
it.
if I would have been able to mentally handle that.
That was so close. It had 900 health after. It was like literally half a millisecond away from being in execute range of that super mega death rocket. But now Ball State, they just have to turtle. Baron is going to wear off here kind of soon for the side of Purdue Northwest. So you're just going to try and get Jinx all this gold so she can get a Runans as fast as possible. And also you're going to have to try and get Wombat Baby 1,100 gold. A combo is going to land on the Sejuani. Going to be a nice chunk on her. But you need to get him 1,100 gold so that he can buy Blighting Jewel. He needs a Blighting Jewel so badly.
We really need a lot of energy.
Oh,
engage with the boater!
And the Vanguard hits everybody. Tom Kitchen's is going to be the first to fall. And Bowling is in the middle of everybody. And everybody from Ball State is going back to base to re-heal. It's going to be a push for the end right here by Purdue Northwest. Huge engage there by the Poner.
Ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee, Ball State. They are in a do or die scenario.
Everybody knows this is going to get a reset. It's Pretzel goes back in. He gets stunned and comboed up. It's a double kill for Jinx, but they lost double inhib and one Nexus tower. Oh my gosh. What a play there by the Poner. You know, he saw the angle. He went in and he thought he won the game right there, but Ball State kept their nerves. Oh my, only 2 people died from that engage is crazy.
Ball State is clinging onto this game by their fingernails. That could have been disastrous. Blaster at the last second managing to secure that double kill. It was an incredible engage by Toponer, and like you said, it is flabbergasting me that only 2 people died here. Both these teams are playing out of their minds at the moment, but Ball State is in a seriously disadvantageous position. They have 2 open inhibitors. There's going to be a lot of super minions that are going to be charging down these lanes. Now that does mean a bit more gold and XP is available for Ball State to farm, but the push pressure from this is going to be immense, especially combined with that Ziggs, with the threat of that Irelia jumping on you from the shadows. It is going to be a tall order for Ball State to defend this base.
And you are in a 34, almost 35-minute game. The nerves are crushing right now. But the wherewithal from Quokka to ult his Jinx and keep her alive and save the game right there was incredible. Jinx finishes rapid fire. I'm not going to say much about these items, but I don't completely understand it. But I'm not going to doubt this team because this has been incredible gameplay.
It really has already. We see Purdue Northwest walking up to this top side tower. They want to crack open all 3 inhibs, put Ball State on the back foot as much as possible. This Baron is coming up soon, and if Purdue Northwest takes it, that could very well be game over here. They might not even need it. Winking is throwing out so much poke as the Ziggs, and Ball State just has to stand there and take it, but they will keep that tower defended. Klexo looking for an angle here, is not going to quite find it on that stun. Quoko just trying to establish any kind of vision control just so they have an idea of where Purdue Northwest is and what they might be doing. Purdue Northwest, though, is just going to be keep pressuring these waves. They have so much tempo, so much push advantage, and Ball State is just scrambling, trying to stay alive in this game.
And it is so, it's like on a knife's edge, and Jinx has been able to farm so many minions.
Blaster
with
has
these two
almost
minions down.
400 CS.
Yeah, he's farming at like 14, 15 minions a minute. It's incredible. With Baron spawning here, I have to think that the game is going to be decided here at this Baron one way or another.
This is it. This is do or die. This objective fight is so critically important, and whoever loses it could very well wind up losing the game entirely. TP is coming out. The engage.
Vanguard's edge. Okay, we're going in. Oh, Aatrox. Oh, this is so crazy. I'm sorry. Okay, Blaster's still alive. The Jinx bomb was absolutely massive. Clutches over the back line. First ball is bootleg. Pranked has killed him. GA out from the Irelia. Aatrox also loses his GA. Quokka's still alive. Blaster gets stunned up. The Weaver wall is absolutely huge to block everybody off. What is happening?
What? That was an incredible Weaver wall coming out from Wombat Baby there. But that the loss of the Ball State's jungler does mean that this Baron is all but PNW's at this stage. The damage from the Jinx was certainly doing something there, but Blaster was getting taken so low. If it wasn't for that incredible Talia R, that this would have already been lost. Purdue Northwest is splitting up. They've got two on that Dragon. They're going to deny the soul point once more as they take this Baron. Ball State's gonna have to commit to one objective, and that Baron is getting so low, and the blue team, that is Purdue Northwest, will take that Baron Nashor as well as the Dragon. Purdue Northwest is sitting on soul point. They have about a 4-ish K gold lead here. They have the Baron buff. The kills are even, but Purdue Northwest has the towers. They have the objectives. They have the items. They have the damage. And Ball State, their back is to the wall.
I don't think Ball State had any idea that Purdue Northwest was doing both Baron and Dragon, because they all ran to the Dragon. But if you think they're doing both, I think you have to all run to Soul and make sure you get that Soul point, because it was just Irelia and All-Star. You had more than enough time to get to Soul, but they had no idea, and they just guessed wrong. But as you're saying, with this Baron going to the side of Purdue Northwest, they have triple Chemtech Dragon. They are going to be incredibly hard to kill here, and this siege that is going to come out is going to decide the game. We are 40 minutes in, and it could go either way.
Ball State on the back foot, but they have come back from worse. Can they do it again? Purdue Northwest is hungry for the rematch. They want vengeance for last battle for Indiana. The Weaver wall comes out. The engagement by Deponer here.
Oh,
Deponer, that was massive!
Capone still not dying. Wiki gets the first kill on Bonelip. Quokka eats the Blaster. Huge stun from Zigwani and a Blaster. Prince is dominating. A double kill for Ziggs. Blaster from Wombat Baby. The only one's left.
Klexo!
I'm winning this game. I'm going to the grand finals.
And that is exactly what will happen. Dying to that fountain, but getting the crucial kill onto that Jinx. Wombat Baby making a valiant last stand, but will be unable to keep Ball State alive. Purdue Northwest will be going to the grand finals.
What a crazy game. Back and forth, knife's edge, either way, team fights decided by 100 total health. And I mean, incredible play there from the side of Purdue Northwest. And I'm gonna credit them for this, because you know I talk about items a lot because it's something I talk about. I don't think they had one wrong item choice on their team. I think all their runes were perfect, and they played that game perfectly after that like 15-minute mark.
Yeah, it really feels like Purdue Northwest just they finally got the rhythm going. That I think what decided this game more so than anything else, although so much of it was again just so back and forth. I really feel like Purdue Northwest's initial victory over this 5-7 minute back and forth and on the Baron pit in the topside jungle. Eventually, Purdue Northwest just barely ekes out a team fight win there. And from there, they managed to slowly convert that into more and more advantages until they just dominated eventually.
Yeah, and you know, I actually have to credit it even further back to Irelia got behind in that mid lane, which is what we were talking about. If she gets behind, she's going to be useless. And the recovery from Klexo, and remind me the jungler's name. It just completely blanked.
Oh, no. I've been, played Sejuani.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
This feels so rude. You did so much,
You
too.
did so much. Your name is completely blanked on me. But the recovery there from Sejuani and Irelia in that mid lane was incredible. understanding of the game state to be like, I am going to make sure that my carry in this mid lane can recover in this was perfect. Because if that never happens, they never win that game. And also just great individual plays from them all around.
It was just so incredibly close.
I cannot describe how, like, I was losing my words every time there was a team fight. It was so much happening, and it was all decided by pixels, by just slivers of health. Super well played to Ball State, and congratulations to Purdue Northwest. You're going to the grand finals for Battle for Indiana. And I believe we have an interview to throw to as well.
Yes, and we will throw it to Trey on stage with a winner from that Purdue Northwest team.
Thank you so much, casters. I'm here with Lucas, who is the mid laner for ADC. I messed that up. I literally planned that. Not planned that. I already clarified that ahead of time. I'm sorry. For PNW, the ADC, Winkin. How are you feeling coming off this huge win for you guys? You guys are going to the grand finals and took down the defending champions.
A giant adrenaline rush right now from that late game there. But overall, I'm really happy. I wish that we could have had a clean way to the grand finals, but I'm happy to get there in the end.
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to get your thoughts on Ziggs as well. I've asked it a little bit earlier, but again, Ziggs has been a huge player in this tournament. What are your thoughts on him?
Definitely what I find to be one of the most fun bottom laners, because the whole time it's just in my head like, bomba, bomba, bomba. Like, I just love throwing out all of my little bombs on people, so it's definitely my favorite neutralizer lane to play in the mage in the bottom lane. So I was really happy to be able to bring it out for this game.
Yeah, for sure. Now, would you say, this is just like a random thing, the most fun ADC ever to play? Not in any meta or just not necessarily in this tournament, just in general, like ever.
I'm a little biased because this is the champion that ended up getting me to Challenger, but Zeri, I love playing her so much. Especially before the nerf to her movement speed on her ultimate. She was so fun.
Yeah, I'm a Zeri main myself, so I really, really love that comment. So, like I said, you guys are going to the grand finals. Does that make you nervous, or are you guys just calm about this? Or what are your thoughts going into that in particular?
I have some nerves, but I'm ready to bring it, and I'm ready for the rest of my teammates to show what we're worth.
All right, well, best of luck, and we will see you guys in the grand finals. We're going to go ahead and go to a break, and we'll be right back.